Hey guys, I just wanted to kind of check in with you today and show you, just remind you of what you have going on for Wednesday. I know these classes go by so quickly, especially the 4 weeks which you're in, so I wanted to give you just a little bit of help in figuring out what you're supposed to be doing. Always remember to scroll down our homepage and find where it says click on to see what to do this week. And this is week 2. This is Wednesday assignments. Remember, every week you're going to have stuff due Wednesday and stuff due Sunday. All right, so Essay 2 is what we're starting on. And what we're going to be looking at is, if you've watched the movie, which you need to, here's a link to the film, so make sure you've watched it. I recommend that you watch it more than once. But we're going to be looking at Annie Wilkes, who, if you've noticed, may have something wrong with her. And there's probably multiple things wrong with her, but for the sake of our essay and to make things a little more streamlined for you, I have picked a personality disorder that I think fits her well, which is borderline personality disorder. And so what you're essentially doing is you're going to pick 3 scenes from the film and show how Annie fits 3 characteristics or symptoms of this disorder. Okay, and I kind of put it in order to hopefully make it easy for you, but you may do this out of order, and that's fine. I'm going to go through it in this order, so hopefully that you'll understand. All right, so the first thing you need to do is kind of go over the instruction sheet. So it's right in here. What you're doing is creating a psychological evaluation of Annie from Misery. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to match Annie to borderline personality disorder. In other words, think of this: you're diagnosing her. You'll begin by going through the characteristics of borderline personality disorder and choosing 3 that you feel fit Annie well. Then you will need to take those characteristics, the 3 that you picked, and put one or all 3 of them into 3 different scenes where you think that characteristic is exhibited in the scene. Okay. All right, and this just goes through what do you do. Paragraph 1 is always your introduction. Body paragraph 1 is the first disorder characteristic plus your scene. Body paragraph 2 is the disorder, another characteristic and another scene, and then body paragraph 3 is essentially the third characteristic of the disorder and a third scene. Okay, and then paragraph 5 is the conclusion. 600 to 700 words. Some of you are failing in that one pretty big. You're not giving me enough words, so make sure that it's at least 600 and try not to go too far beyond 700. All right, and then you're going to have several things. One, you're going to have the film adaptation of Misery. That's your primary source. In your template, that's already there. A lot of you in Essay 1 deleted that. Don't do that. Keep it there, all right? It should stay. Or maybe that wasn't your Essay 1, but it's going to be in your template. You don't do anything to it. You just leave it. You'll have BPD Article 1 and BPD Article 2, which I'll show you in just a minute on how to do that. But they're going to already be in your template, okay? All right, so there's your instruction sheet. Okay. Right here, I've given you 2 borderline personality disorder articles, okay? So one is by Guglia and Davidson. This came straight off the Hines database, the library system, and it starts actually right here. It defines it, talks a little bit about it, describes it. This is a very scientific article, so I would kind of skim it, but when you go through things like the description part, the definition, the causes and symptoms, those are important, okay? So I would definitely keep those in there. Now, diagnosis might be important, but you're kind of just looking over this to get an overview of what BPD is really all about. All right. The next article that you'll read is, this is by Rachel Dupree. Now this one is a little easier to understand, and it kind of goes through the symptoms easily for you. This is what I would say that anybody that thought they might have a friend who had BPD, this would be a great article that they would want to read. So be sure you look over this one carefully. I would read it well. All right, here's a PowerPoint that pretty much just takes that second article and puts the characteristics in order, okay? It's just easier to see, easier to understand. Remember, there's about 7 characteristics, and what you're going to be doing is putting them, you're going to be picking 3 that you think fit Annie. right? After that, after you pick maybe 3 that you think, hey, I think these really do show Annie Wilkes, and like one of them is explosive anger. Okay, first thing you ask, do I ever see Annie being angry about something that just seems crazy, or just she gets angry all of a sudden? And then can you fit a clip into that where you see her being angry? Those are examples of things I want you to do. All right, right here, if you click on this, Misery Film Clips, this will take you to a page where it has a ton of clips from the film that you can kind of look, and you're going to want to pick 3 of those and match it to the 3 characteristics that you've picked. After you've done that, complete the outline. Remember, your outline is important because, like here, box 1 is going to equal to be sentence 1, box 2, sentence 2, box 3, so on and so on. So make sure I give you examples of what to put in there. So use those. Right here is a quote, the definition of BPD. I went ahead and put it in here. This is exactly how you do it. You have a lead in, you have the actual quote, and you have the page number. And then you have your thesis. You are more than welcome to use my thesis. All right, and then this just goes through it step by step. I've also included a sample outline for you to look at based on another book, not the one you're using here. And then you have your works cited page. It's exactly like Essay 1 where you'll have your 3 YouTube clips, but I've also included Misery and your 2 articles. Okay, I had to go back in and change that, so you may see where that's been revised. So make sure you get the revised template and then turn in your works cited. All right, so it's a lot this week. You may have questions about the quoting that's going to be in there. Because if you look, let me see, right. Let me go back to your outline. Here we go. Like right here, so your first characteristic, one characteristic of BPD is explosive anger. Let's say that's one you chose. And then use a quote from the disorder article that elaborates on your above characteristic. So what I would do is I would go to my second article, because technically we've already used this article. That was in your definition. So we would go to this one. Oh, there it is. Okay, look for explosive anger. And you want to say, according to Desprez, that's her name right there. So according to, and then I'd come right here to explosive anger, and I might say, according to Desprez, comma, quotation marks, in addition to extreme mood swings, people with BPD may also struggle with intense anger. And then it's paragraph 15, so I would put a quotation mark after here, open my parentheses, put PAR period 15, close it, and put a period after that. Okay. You may also want to, on Friday, after you turn this in on Wednesday, do the optional assignment where you do the draft. If you do that, I can help you with your quoting. Okay, so if you have any questions, please feel free to email me, let me know, Canvas message me any questions you might have. All right, thank you guys.